One here because it's a name that I think has fallen off a little bit, certainly not in size or scope, but just in conversation as it's also traded a bit sideways of late. But I would argue probably has the biggest question mark on it in terms of what the reaction is going to be. We're talking about Nvidia. We have to wait until the end of August for earnings here. But how are you looking at Nvidia? Because I'm looking at the chart and we're pretty sideways since April. It's underperforming the markets here. What's your thesis on Nvidia right now?
Well, I think Nvidia is something we should still hold in our portfolios, but I do believe it's sideways, and that's in sympathy with the market. And a lot of the price action that is leading semiconductors has a lot to do with Nvidia, specifically CDS or credit default swaps. So a lot of the news yesterday was around the credit market, and I think it's really interesting here. So if we look at their credit default swap, it hit a record of 82 basis points, which is the biggest one-day jump since the contract began actively trading back in November of 2025. So it's the bond market or the credit market really signaling that they're concerned with the future of Nvidia's debt. And I wanted to have a keyword there on the future of this circular capital. If we want to understand circular capital, if it really is an issue, a way we can look at it is through the credit market, specifically Nvidia. I'm honing in on the credit default swaps. What I think is interesting, if we look at Nvidia's own financial statements, though, they're really strong. They have almost no debt, over $100 billion in cash investments. They generated about $119 billion of free cash flow over the last 12 months. But the trigger is this $750 billion AI infrastructure deal. A part of that was $250 billion with the OpenAI guarantee, which triggered the credit default swaps to increase so many basis points. And so the reason for bringing that up to you today, this isn't an active trade on the big three. It's you're exposed to Nvidia within your portfolio if you have an index fund, and a lot of ways within the market you already have that type of exposure. It's important to understand why things are moving, and then that will help us to take something from Ben's language. He says the market is an if this then that statement. So understanding that if we are concerned about CapEx spend and circular capital being a big hindrance or a headwind to the AI infrastructure build out, which is causing the markets to go into a trading range and not go any higher. In order to see that come back, we might need to see that reverse. So I want to hone in to where we're actually seeing that activity. Where can I look for that activity to reverse? Then to understand if the market, how it really feels about CapEx spend and circular capital. And so I'm honing in on credit default swaps. So another, I guess, educational piece for you today, Marley, but it's a hold for me on Nvidia. I think once we get the earnings from these hyperscalers that are coming later on this week, we are going to hear an increase in CapEx spend. We may not necessarily from Apple, but if we do, it could trigger more of this type of activity, but that also goes in line with what's happening in the credit market with the 2-year note very specifically. And then if we want to focus in on the micro picture, we can look at credit default swaps as well.
All right. So, Ben, as we look at the technicals on Nvidia here, knowing that we're going to probably see some movement once we hear from those hyperscaler names in advance of their earnings, they like to wait till the very end of earnings season to keep us all waiting with bated breath. But what are you seeing when you look at the chart here?
Well, Nvidia is one of those names, obviously, that's been that driver of the market. But realistically, this has been going a whole lot of nowhere in the last year in terms of an overall move. Really, one or maybe 1.5 standard deviation moves around this midpoint that it's been oscillating since the December timeframe, this 196 level of support that I've drawn in there. And we've just seen a break below that with a bit of a hammer candle today in this gap down rally. Now that suggests, again, with about a month to go almost to the earnings announcement, that there is some potential for movement. One standard deviation to the upside is going to put it right around that resistance at the 212. One standard deviation to the downside is going to put it down around that 170, 180 level. Both of those are symmetrical moves given the kind of lumpy head and shoulders pattern that you see up in the upper range above that 196, momentum falling off a little bit. There is some potential for downside here, but at the same time, there is so much dip buying activity that seems to happen below this 196 that could keep prices higher. Doesn't guarantee it, but from a technical perspective, that 196 has been tested multiply, and you've got implied volatility rising into the earnings announcement here, Marley.
All right, we're just barely above that 196 right now as well. We're at 197.15 for Nvidia, trading up 1/3% higher, bucking the trend of the broader market today.
After recovering from early losses, Nvidia shares saw little movement on Tuesday, albeit the stock was still below the psychologically significant $200 mark. Investors had to weigh concerns about funding for artificial intelligence and impending big tech profits against an increasingly alluring price. The stock had dropped precipitously in the previous session, losing 5% and giving Apple the title of most valuable listed firm in the world. Nvidia's value has grown more appealing despite the recent decline. According to Dow Jones market data, the company ended Monday with a future price-to-earnings ratio of 18.16, the lowest since April 2015. The drop on Monday coincided with a larger sell-off in semiconductor equities after it was revealed that a Chinese business had started manufacturing essential chip-making machinery in large quantities. A Wall Street Journal story that Nvidia is negotiating an approximately $250 billion funding guarantee for OpenAI to enable a major data center project in Ohio also dampened investor mood. The agreement would enhance long-term demand for Nvidia's artificial intelligence hardware while assisting OpenAI in obtaining better funding arrangements. Some investors were alarmed by the news, believing that funding agreements between Nvidia and AI clients would replicate the circular investment structures of the dot-com era. According to Morningstar, Nvidia's long-term investment case is unaffected by the rumored financing talks. Despite worries over financing-backed AI infrastructure projects, the research group maintained its $280 fair value estimate for the company and stated that the shares are still cheap. The aim is almost 40% higher than the current market price. According to Morningstar, the need for artificial intelligence computing is still growing quickly, but AI hosting companies are still limited by the amount of computing power that is accessible rather than by client demand. The company also cited AMD's recent rise in its server CPU market prediction as proof that the need for more AI infrastructure in the upcoming years is supported by the growing need for agentic AI. According to Morningstar, some cloud infrastructure providers already receive financial backstops from Nvidia in exchange for a share of future AI hosting profits. The company claims that while a similar deal with OpenAI would be a far bigger deal, it would still be in line with Nvidia's overarching plan to sustain long-term demand for its technology and grow the AI ecosystem. The focus of investors has now switched to large technology companies' quarterly earnings, which are anticipated to offer new information about the rate of investment in artificial intelligence. Investors are anticipated to keep a tight eye on capital expenditure forecast as a sign of future demand for Nvidia's processors, as Microsoft, Meta Platforms, and Amazon announce their profits this week. Investors will want input on the kinds of AI gear that businesses plan to implement, in addition to overall spending levels. With partners like Broadcom, a number of major IT businesses have increasingly created specialized processors for certain workloads. Investors are nonetheless keeping an eye on whether increased use of bespoke silicon could eventually lessen reliance on outside suppliers, even though such chips are intended to supplement, rather than completely replace Nvidia's graphics processing units. I continue to purchase Nvidia because it generates cash from the largest capital spending cycle in the world more quickly than I can choose where to use the dividend. Without adding concrete, power, or square feet to its balance sheet, every dollar hyperscalers invest in AI factories flows across Nvidia's fabless model as top-line revenue. I continue to fund that machine. The story is supported by the receipts. In fiscal 2024, free cash flow was $27.0 billion. In fiscal 2025, it was $60.9 billion. In fiscal 2026, it was $96.7 billion. Then, Q1 FY 2027 generated $48.55 billion in free cash flow on $81.61 billion in revenue, an increase of 85.2% over the previous year. Income from data centers alone reached $75.25 billion, up 92%, while networking income increased by 199%. This is operational leverage accomplishing precisely what a fabless architect is meant to achieve, which is to generate income from client capital expenditures while keeping research and administrative costs relatively constant. The form of the returns beneath the cash is the second reason I keep adding. The operating margin is 60.4%, the gross margin is 71.1%, the net margin is 55.6%, and the return on invested capital is 92.2%. Interest coverage is 503x, while the debt-to-equity ratio is 0.073. I want compounding inside a long-term account because a company that generates such returns on that little debt finances its expansion only through cash flow. The third cause is the current financial practices of management. In addition to authorizing an extra $80 billion buyback on top of the $38.5 billion that remained, the board increased the quarterly dividend from $0.01 to $0.25 in May 2026, a 25x step-up. After returning $41.1 billion to shareholders throughout fiscal 2026, Nvidia returned almost $20 billion in Q1 of FY27 alone. I own this for compounding book value rather than income because the yield is still modest at roughly 0.02%. My friends want to know why I continue to choose this over Broadcom or advanced micro devices. The margin structure contains my response. Nvidia has pricing power over the entire accelerator stack, from Silicon to NVLink to CUDA-X, as evidenced by its 55.6% net profit margin and 92.2% ROIC, which merchant GPU and bespoke silicon companies have not been able to reproduce at scale. When a company generates $96.58 billion in free cash annually on a fabless cost basis, the alternative must meet a very high standard in order to generate the same amount of my capital. China is the danger I respect. The business sustained a $4.5 billion H20 inventory charge earlier in the cycle, and it already expects zero data center compute revenue from China. There is a genuine ceiling on the addressable market, and that is real money. With that door essentially closed, FY 2026 free cash flow nevertheless increased by 58.7%, supporting my theory. I am paying nothing for any practical reopening at today's PE near 41 and PFCF near 51. The forward runway is what keeps the buy button active. Jensen Huang, CEO, said it thus way: the largest infrastructural expansion in human history, the construction of AI factories, is happening at an incredible rate. The management has committed to a yearly product cadence through 2028, with the Vera Rubin platform already announced behind Blackwell. Q2 FY27 projection calls for 91.0 billion in revenue at a 75.0% non-GAAP gross profit. My order will be refilled as long as Nvidia continues to turn hyperscaler capex into free cash on this trend. Nvidia has invested in Safe Superintelligence, SSI, an artificial intelligence, AI startup founded by former OpenAI leaders, including head scientist Ilya Sutskever, and established a long-term collaboration with the company. The amount of the investment was not disclosed by the chipmaker, but according to Bloomberg, the sale was valued at $5 billion. Verdict has reached out to SSI and Nvidia for comment. Nvidia said in a statement that the startup would be able to increase its compute by an order of magnitude thanks to its substantial investment and SSI's access to the next-generation Nvidia Vera Rubin platform. As part of the deal, Nvidia and SSI will work together on the technological advancement of present and next Nvidia computing platforms, utilizing SSI's viewpoint on the future course of artificial intelligence. Nvidia claimed that after gaining exclusive access to SSI's closely guarded research, it made the decision to pursue the relationship. The agreement is intended to assist SSI's upcoming expansion phase. For the past 2 years, SSI has been working on a new research project that aims to produce a powerful and robustly aligned artificial intelligence. After leaving OpenAI in May 2024, Sutskever co-founded the business in June. Daniel Gross, a venture financier who oversaw AI projects at Apple, and Daniel Levy, a former OpenAI researcher, are among his co-founders. According to Nvidia, Sutskever's contributions to AlexNet, AlphaGo, sequence-to-sequence learning, and GPT models were crucial in forming contemporary AI. According to the business, he also oversaw the development of reasoning models like OpenAI o1. Ilya has pioneered fundamental breakthroughs at the foundation of modern AI, beginning with AlexNet, stated Jensen Huang, CEO and founder of Nvidia. With the help of our Vera Rubin platform, we are eager to see what new discoveries SSI will make. Sutskever continued. Having access to a large Nvidia computer will enable us to scale up our research. Andreessen Horowitz, DST Global, Green Oaks, and Sequoia Capital are additional investors in the startup. SK Group, located in South Korea, and Nvidia announced a $500 billion cooperation last week with the goal of building AI infrastructure to satisfy growing global computational demands. Initially developed and published by Verdict, a global data-owned company, Nvidia will invest billions in Ilya Sutskever's AI endeavor. Over the past 2 years, the semiconductor industry has demonstrated that artificial intelligence is capable of overcoming nearly any market obstacle. Despite frequent instability brought on by export restrictions, supply shortages, and geopolitical concerns, demand for AI infrastructure has continued to surpass projections. As part of an ongoing investigation into the alleged smuggling of restricted AI servers to China by Supermicro computer personnel, Taiwanese authorities detained an Nvidia employee, putting that resiliency to the test once more. Investors were initially drawn in by the headline, but the specifics show a far different picture than the market's initial response might indicate. An Nvidia employee known only by his last name, Chang, was taken into custody this morning by Taiwan's Keelung District Prosecutor's Office following a search of his residence and place of employment on July 24th. Chang is accused by the prosecution of fabricating business records related to shipments of AI servers with Nvidia processors that were eventually headed for China in contravention of export restrictions from the United States. Supermicro computer servers that were purportedly exported with forged papers were the first focus of the inquiry. However, prosecutors have consistently insisted that the inquiry does not specifically target Nvidia or Supermicro. Rather, officials are looking into the activities of certain people who are allegedly participating in the scam. Earlier this month, Supermicro reaffirmed that Taiwanese officials had certified the company is not the focus of the probe. Although it is simple to ignore, this distinction is arguably the most crucial thing for investors to keep in mind. Seldom do markets wait for court cases to be resolved. Supermicro's shares fell 33% in a single trading session when the probe was first made public. In the end, the stock dropped 36.7%, from $30.79 prior to the controversy to as low as $19.48. Since then, self-assurance has steadily grown again. Supermicro recovered virtually all of those losses by closing at $29.81 on Monday, despite the share's roughly 4% decline in pre-market trading this morning due to the news of the Nvidia employee's incarceration. Monday saw a 5% decline in Nvidia's shares as well, although pressure was already on the semiconductor industry as a whole. Micron Technology is down 5.5% today, while SanDisk plummeted about 11%. Indicating that investors were reacting to a broader semiconductor sell-off rather than just this inquiry. The two businesses differ mostly in terms of scope and leadership. During the investigation, Supermicro's founder was implicated, raising questions about company oversight. Nvidia is not now in a similar circumstance. Investors would probably be assessing a whole different risk profile if CEO Jensen Huang had been arrested. Rather than evidence of corporate wrongdoing, contemporary reporting focuses on a single employee purportedly acting inside a larger probe. To put it briefly, investors shouldn't consider Nvidia to be the next Supermicro. Uncertainty is inevitable in any criminal inquiry involving an employee, and it can persist until Taiwanese prosecutors finish their investigation. Given Nvidia's reliance on global AI demand, markets especially loathe stories that link the business to export control infractions. Nevertheless, the information at hand does not suggest that Nvidia is being investigated. The imprisonment of one individual has no effect on the company's competitive position, AI chip roadmap, customer relationships, or financial forecast. Ultimately, it appears that this is more of a legal issue pertaining to specific individuals than Nvidia's business plan. Smart investors will see the situation as one worth keeping an eye on, not one that significantly alters the long-term investment case for the leader in AI chips, unless investigators find evidence that goes beyond a rogue employee.